Tell me about Elijah and what you understand of why we're here to talk about Elijah.
Because he's missing.
Okay, so you woke Joe up and you said Elijah's gone, and what did he do?
He was like, what the f*** again? I'm like, yep. I'm like, but this time I can't find him. I was like, I don't know what the f*** to do. I'm freaking out. I was like, I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to calm down. I need to do something. When I woke up, and then I probably would have used it in the afternoon, because when you're pregnant, you have to use a little, it's so f***ed up, I don't like talking about it. Anyways, a few times during the day, and then at night I would use a few times because I would get sick.
Danielle Dauphinais met Timothy Lewis in early 2014. The pair were quickly married, and not long after, Danielle would become pregnant. On January 7th, 2016, their son Elijah was born in Arizona. As many of us are aware, having a newborn child can present its challenges, and this was no different for Danielle and Timothy. Elijah, at a young age, had already started developing behavioral issues, which would put a strain on their relationship. The challenges of a young child would take their toll, and a year after Elijah was born, the couple would divorce, and Timothy would take Elijah, who would continue living with him in Arizona. Danielle, meanwhile, would move to Merrimack, New Hampshire to live with family. Timothy and Danielle eventually lost touch with each other, and Elijah would have no further contact with his mother. She had moved on and met another man named Joseph Stapf. Again, Danielle would become pregnant very quickly and had a baby daughter in 2018. While she was thrilled to have a daughter, she still felt like something was missing. Danielle and her little boy Elijah were almost a whole country away from each other, but that didn't stop her from thinking about him. She was somewhat of a stranger now to Elijah, but that didn't stop her from trying to meet up with him. She would try calling, sending text messages, but would never get an answer back. To her surprise, over 3 years after she had last seen her son, Timothy and her son Elijah would show up at her house in Merrimack, New Hampshire in the spring of 2020. For reasons unknown, Timothy had agreed to leave Elijah in Danielle's care. This was a less than ideal situation, given that they were already raising a 2-year-old daughter together, and their living arrangement was a small, cramped area in Joseph's mother's basement. The situation compounded even further, with Danielle and Joseph both having an off and on drug dependency for heroin. Elijah's behavioral issues had gotten even worse since the last time Danielle had seen him, which would cause significant problems between the drug-dependent couple.
He just said he might be autistic.
Okay.
And this is not autistic. I have an autistic nephew who is, but yeah, he would scratch.
Okay.
He would sit there and bite his arms. He would, what else did he do? He would like slap him in his, like do weird stuff. Like I just didn't like, I couldn't, I needed him out of my house. I needed him out to get help. Not that I didn't love him and want him. I loved him. I love him so much. I just needed him to get help. And I was just watching him suffer, and I couldn't do anything. You know what I mean? I couldn't do nothing.
Now, when did you ever have suspicions that he was sleepwalking?
Well, yeah, because sometimes I would find him just standing in the kitchen randomly. Just standing there. Or in the bathroom with the door shut with the lights off. And I would walk in, and like, he would just be standing there. Like scary, freaky stuff. I don't know if it's sleepwalking, because you can talk when you're sleepwalking, right?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I mean, probably.
I don't know.
Okay.
She would hide knives under his bed, tacks under his bed. He would steal things from our kitchen, and he would just do a bunch of stuff that not a normal little boy would do.
Danielle made the claim that she and Joseph had given up taking drugs, but Elijah had caused so many problems in the home that all of the added stress and chaos had caused them both to start using heroin again.
And during this day, how many times would you say that you used heroin?
In this day?
Yes.
When I woke up, and then I probably would have used it in the afternoon, because when you're pregnant, you have to use a little, it's so up. I don't like talking about it. Anyways, a few times during the day, and then at night I would use a few times because I would get sick quick.
Okay.
According to Danielle, Elijah had become out of control, and she simply couldn't take it anymore. This led to her calling ex-husband Timothy Lewis and asking him to take Elijah back, which, according to her, he refused to do. Desperate for help, she would turn to multiple government agencies, but claimed they had simply turned her away. In her words, the New Hampshire Division for Children, Youth, and Families had told her that she was a bad mother, and there was no way to help her, and the department couldn't do anything for her. The situation became a boiling pot as texts between Danielle and Joseph began to provide an insight into just how bad it had become. Danielle had sent this text to Joseph. "Elijah told me to stop starving him because it's not nice." She then replied with a follow-up message, "I gave him a bowl of cereal so he would shut the f*** up." Joseph would reply to these texts with, "We need to fatten him up," seemingly realizing they weren't feeding him enough. At a later time, Danielle had sent another message to Joseph that said, "I hit Eli with a shower curtain rod," before sometime later she would follow that up with, "I'm going to kill him, and I mean it." Danielle would also frequently vent her frustrations to friends. In one message sent to one of these friends, she would compare the 5-year-old Elijah to the serial killers Ted Bundy and Jeffrey Dahmer. The situation became exponentially worse when Elijah's father had received texts from Danielle simply stating, "I want him gone. I can't handle it anymore." This concerning behavior raised several red flags for Timothy, who would contact New Hampshire Department of Health and Human Services Division for Children, Youth, and Families, the same agency that Danielle previously claimed she had contacted for help, which they refused. Caseworkers visited the house on Sunset Drive in Merrimack, and Elijah was taken for a medical assessment at a nearby hospital. The medical assessment would uncover bruising all over his body, including on his hands, neck, arms, and several on his face. Along with the physical trauma, it was noted that he was severely underweight for his age, weighing only 32 pounds. Blood tests would show deficiencies in almost every vitamin. It was plainly obvious he simply wasn't getting enough food. With all of this information in hand, the Department of Health and Human Services Division for Children, Youth, and Families would respond to the situation by returning Elijah back to the home in which he came from, claiming they would periodically check in on him. The home was nothing short of chaotic, from the kids with behavioral issues, to the drug taking, to the physical and emotional manipulation. And it was about to become even worse after Danielle had found out she was pregnant once again. In early 2021, she would give birth to a baby boy, but knew she had no way of looking after him. Only 3 days after he was born, Joseph would drop him off at the Catholic Medical Center in Manchester, approximately 11 miles north of their residence. In New Hampshire, there is a safe haven law that allows parents to surrender their newborn babies at specific safe locations if they fear they can't adequately look after them. This is the exact law that Danielle and Joseph took advantage of, knowing that, as active drug addicts, with a volatile home life, no employment, and no money, they couldn't possibly care for the baby. The Department of Health and Human Services Division for Children, Youth, and Families would perform tests on the baby, which would conclude that the baby boy was born with a drug dependency for heroin. Although they had surrendered the child, this finding could see them in serious trouble, with the possibility of losing their other children. It was later that Joseph had told his mother not to let Elijah leave the basement, and if anyone came looking for him, to tell them that he was no longer living there, and to never mention his name ever again. While she thought that was an odd request, she would go along with it. Caseworkers would stop by the house looking for Elijah to perform a check on him, and day after day were told every single time that he wasn't there. They began to fear for his safety, and on October 14, 2021, they called police to relay their fears about the strange situation. Police visited the home where Danielle and Joseph lived and questioned the couple about Elijah's whereabouts. Danielle had claimed that he was staying with her sister in California and was even able to produce paperwork that showed she was in the process of handing over custody to her. However, when questioned at a later date, she would change this story to claim that Elijah was in fact with her brother in Texas. Only a day after caseworkers had reported Elijah's disappearance to police, authorities would obtain a search warrant to enter the house and search for any sign of Elijah. Both Danielle and Joseph were out at the time, but Joseph's mother let police in who did an extensive search of the property. Nothing was immediately found that suggested any foul play or indicated where Elijah was, but they did note that there were no pictures of him in the house anywhere. There was a box near the back door containing some of his toys and clothes, which looked as though it was being prepared to be given away or disposed of. To add to this, there appeared to be no bed arrangement where he would sleep, leading police to believe he was either in a different state or something far more sinister had occurred. New York Transit Police were able to track Danielle and Joseph down, where they would be arrested boarding a train at the Pelham Bay Park Station in the Bronx on Sunday, October the 17th of 2021.
Why you guys roughing up? My resistance. She's double up. Just the head down and let you take him out.
What's your name? What's your name? Danielle. Yeah, you're what?
Both Danielle and Joseph were held in custody overnight and were charged the following day with child endangerment and witness tampering. Police had no evidence to suggest that anything had happened to Elijah other than the neglect that had already been reported. The witness tampering charge stemmed from the fact that the couple had told Danielle's sister and brother to lie about Elijah's whereabouts and to tell authorities he was living with them. The couple would be extradited back to New Hampshire, where both of them would plead guilty to the charges against them. Police would sit down with Danielle and Joseph and formally interview them both separately.
Tell me about Elijah and what you understand of why we're here to talk about Elijah.
Because he's missing.
Okay, what can you tell me about that?
Okay, so Elijah, when I got Elijah back in May 26th of 2020.
Okay.
And his dad just like literally drove across the United States and just dropped him off to me. He's a very, very troubled child. He has a lot of mental issues. Elijah likes to sneak out of the house. So we have a slider door. And I don't know if you guys have been there.
I have, yeah.
So you've been to my house. So
Yes.
Have you felt the slider door, the wiggly handle?
I didn't touch the handle.
Okay,
no.
so the slider door doesn't lock, doesn't
Okay.
latch. He likes to sneak out while we sleep. He wanders while we sleep. He's a wandering little boy. So he's done that so many times. You know, we would wake up and we would find him. He'll come back in. He'll wake up, come back in, whatever.
Danielle would claim that Elijah had walked out of the house, like he had done many times before, but this time he never came back.
So, in September, I don't know the date. I honestly don't know the date, but September, he decided to wander off again. And us being an active addiction and not wanting to lose our kids, we tried to find him. We looked for him and we're like, okay, well, he's going to come back. He always came back. So we waited. He didn't come back and we're freaking the fuck out. We're like, where's Elijah? Never came back. And I woke Joe up and I said, Elijah's gone.
So did you get high before or after you woke Joe up?
I got after.
Okay, so you woke Joe up and you said Elijah's gone. And what did he do?
He was like, what the fuck again? I'm like, yep. I'm like, but this time I can't find him. I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm freaking out. I was like, I need to do something. I need to do something. I need to calm down. I need to do something.
Did Joe get high with you?
Mm-hmm.
And then what happened?
And then we were just trying to think of what to do, where to find him. We've been looking for him every day. Every day.
So that night, though, in particular, after...
He had to go to work.
So you get high, and then did Joe go outside to look for him that night?
He went outside a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Did
I don't
you
know where
go back outside?
No, I didn't. I stayed in with my daughter.
And during this day, how many times would you say that you used heroin?
In this day?
Yes.
When I woke up, and then I probably would have used it in the afternoon, because when you're pregnant, you have to use a little... It's so f***ed up. I don't like talking about it. Anyways, a few times during the day, and then at night I would use a few times because I would get sick quick.
Okay. So he left at 7 a.m. And what did you do from there?
Freaked out. Didn't know what the f*** to do. I don't know. I'm like, didn't want to lose my daughter, but I wanted to find my son, but I didn't want to lose my daughter. I didn't want to lose my son. I'm pregnant. My mind is going crazy.
Up to this point, investigators had asked questions that were general in nature, but they were about to turn up the heat, and Danielle, for the first time, would begin showing some emotion.
Why didn't you call the police?
Because we didn't want anything to happen. Because DCYF would get involved,
Okay.
and then my daughter would get taken away. So I don't know. It's so hard to explain to people that aren't addicts why we do the things we do, like why we ran, because we're f***ing scared shitless. We're human, you know. It's a reaction. We didn't know what, just like we didn't know what to do.
And when you say you ran, you're talking about when you fled from New Hampshire last week. Okay. And what were you afraid of then when you left?
Because we didn't report it. I was afraid of going to jail and losing my kids.
Okay.
I don't want to go to jail. We didn't do it. I mean, we did do something. We didn't report it, but we didn't do anything.
So we've been working around the clock since last Thursday with a massive team of investigators, the best investigators in the state and in all of New England, looking for your son. What tactics do you think that we should be employing, or where should we be looking for him?
I don't know, but look.
Where do you think he is?
I have no idea.
Do you think that he...
Yeah, what if he's in the lake?
Do you think that he's in the lake?
I don't know. I don't know.
Did Elijah know how to swim?
No.
He doesn't know how to swim. Did you guys ever go and play in the lake?
He's petrified of the water.
He is. Why is that?
I don't know.
Okay. Do you think that somebody has him?
I don't know. If I knew, I would tell you. If I knew anything, I would tell you. I have no f***ing idea where he is. He's usually always standing by the beach, at the top of the driveway, or by the beach, because he wants to play in that area, because it's all kid stuff right there. I don't know.
Okay.
Has he ever bled in the bathroom?
He used to, so he would shower and slip.
Okay.
And there was this one time where he slipped down and he nicked his eye.
Okay.
Right there, and had a little cut.
When was that?
God, I don't know.
Was that more recent, or was that a long time ago?
The eye thing was kind of recent.
Okay.
But
do you think that would have been the last month?
It was before the shower tile has came down.
Okay.
Because he was showering then. But we would wash him up, and because he would bite him, so he would bite his skin, poke holes. So he was always had bleeding.
Okay.
He would bite his lips until he...
In the bathroom, though?
We would wash him in the bathroom.
Okay. So if they were to find some blood in the bathroom, it would have been either from when he had slipped?
Oh, yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know why that would be from anything else.
This kid had a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he brought a lot of problems into your home.
Mm-hmm.
And I think everybody has limits.
I'm telling you the God honest truth. I did not do anything to hurt that little boy. I will swear on everything. No, I swear on everything.
Okay.
I swear on everything. I swear.
Here's the thing. Things are going to start to unravel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and they already have. You know, I mean, we found you pretty quickly. Do you think, in your heart of hearts, as a mom, that Eli is alive?
Now probably not.
Okay.
I mean, a little boy. I'm praying.
I'll be honest with you, I agree with you. I don't think that he's alive.
Joseph would also be questioned about where Elijah was and what happened on the day he went missing.
Okay, so you walk into Eli's room and just kind of take me through what you see.
I thought he was in his bed and he wasn't in his bed.
Okay. So then what did you do?
I went to show you outside.
Did you wake up Danielle?
No, they were sound.
Is Danielle still in bed?
Yeah.
Is she awake or is she sleeping?
I don't know. I don't want her to like not be able to remember the same exact.
We're gonna talk
you
to
know
her.
what I mean?
No, but
Like I don't want this to make you guys
but
think that we're not
Joe, here's the thing.
mashing out stories or something that's gonna throw you guys off. You know what
No,
I mean?
no.
I don't want you guys to ever think something weird. Right?
Why would we think anything's
I
weird?
don't know.
The stories that Danielle and Joseph had come up with for the disappearance of a 5-year-old boy led investigators to believe that the worst had happened. Danielle and Joseph's accounts of the events on the day in question didn't match. And secondly, they didn't seem to show any real care for where Elijah was. There was nothing from the couple that showed any real care, such as, where is he? How can I help? I really hope we find him. The questioning now would become even more direct, prompting Danielle to become increasingly angry and defensive.
But what I'm going to tell you right now is what you've told us, and I just talked to Joe, is the exact opposite as far as how this night went. And that's problematic. That's
What do you mean it's the complete opposite?
as far as what you told me and how you woke up and how you went into the bathroom and then you got a drink and then you went and saw that he wasn't there. That you two are not on the same page on that. When we don't stop digging, and that's when we find all the little inconsistencies, and that's okay. That's okay. What I'm telling you is all of it is okay, but we need to find him.
I don't know where he is. If I knew where he is, I would honestly tell you right now.
Is that because Joe disposed of him?
No.
Did Joe bring him somewhere?
No. Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, that's what I think. You know.
Well, I would know that though, because I was with him and he did not do anything.
Yep. And I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. But this is.
I swear to God, I do no.
Okay.
If I knew he did that, I would tell you.
I'm not saying that he did anything. I'm not saying that he hurt him.
Well, you just said that did Joe dispose of his body?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. I've been with him.
Because what I'm saying is, whether it was accidental, whether it was to protect, whatever it was that led to it, I understand why you didn't want to call the police.
No.
Because of the other things.
No, not happened. No, I'm not going to agree to that. No, because I know what happened. No, we did not hurt that little boy, and I do not appreciate you saying that we did.
I'm not saying that you did.
Nobody hurt that little boy.
I'm not saying that they did.
Nothing happened.
Well, something happened.
Yeah, no one.
I'm not saying that somebody hurt him.
Well, that's exactly what you're saying, though. You just said that, like, you escalated, you couldn't handle it, and then now he's gone, and this and that and that and this. No one hurt that little boy. No one hurt that little boy. We are not monsters. We are very good people. We are very nice. Mm-hmm. Our kids are well taken care of. We have a drug problem. Just do not fucking judge us because we're drug addicts. We will not fucking hurt our kids. And I'll take that to my fucking grave.
No, I'm not judging you. I'm not getting upset.
No, you guys are assuming that we hurt our son and buried him.
I didn't say any of
You just said disposed of the body.
Yes, I did.
What body did we dispose of?
There's a lot of different ways that people can die.
No.
And then people panic. He could have choked. He could have. There's a million different things that could have happened. No. You know, he could have choked on food. He could have tripped and fell. He could have hurt himself. He could have drowned. And then you panic. There's a million different things that could have happened that you aren't responsible for. That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Just because that little boy, he was still well taken care of. We have never, ever hurt that little boy. We love that little boy no matter what.
But I don't want you to have the weight of the world on your shoulders for the rest of your life.
We didn't do anything. He did not. There's no body.
Then where is he?
I don't know.
Where do you think he would go?
I don't know. He could have been in the lake. Did anybody check the lake?
Of course.
2 days after the search warrant was carried out on the house, and a day after Danielle and Joseph were arrested, on the 19th of October 2021, police would begin combing the nearby Natticook Lake, looking for any sign of Elijah. The lake was directly behind the property that Danielle was staying at on Sunset Drive in Merrimack, New Hampshire, so it was the starting point for detectives. An extensive search was carried out, but no sign of Elijah was located. While the search was ongoing at the lake, forensic investigators would take a look into Joseph and Danielle's cell phone data and would uncover a potential lead. Both of their cell phones' GPS showed they had made a trip to the Ames Knoll State Park, which is approximately 75 miles south of the house they were staying at in Merrimack. They were at the location for only a short time, around an hour, before they would leave and drive to the Mohegan Sun Resort and Casino in Connecticut. Both Joseph and Danielle were captured on CCTV at the resort, eating dinner and attending a concert, but there was no sign of Elijah with them. They would leave the Mohegan Sun by bus, leaving their car behind, where they would travel to New York, eventually ending up in their arrest as they were attempting to board a train. 5 days after the initial search of the lake, on the 24th of October 2021, police would descend on the Ames Knoll State Park looking for any sign of Elijah. Using cadaver dogs, they were able to locate the remains of a small child. The child had been buried face down in a shallow grave in the fetal position, which then had a birch tree dragged over it in an attempt to hide the grisly scene. It was no surprise to anyone that DNA and dental records would confirm that it was the body of Elijah. When an autopsy was performed, it showed severe trauma to the face, neck, chest, head, and arms. Blood tests would also confirm that he had substantial levels of fentanyl present in his system at the time of his death. When he was weighed, he would come back as weighing only 20 pounds, about half the weight that he should have been for that age and height. The medical examiner would conclude that Elijah had most likely died between the 21st of September and the 24th of September in 2021. The cause of death was listed as multiple reasons: malnourishment, neglect, and violence, with the manner of death being confirmed as homicide. In the spring of 2022, Danielle Dauphinais was charged with second-degree murder for the death of her son Elijah. Joseph Stapf was charged with manslaughter, witness tampering, second-degree assault, and falsifying physical evidence. Both would be held without bond until their trials could begin. While awaiting trial, Danielle's ex-husband Timothy Lewis would file a wrongful death lawsuit. This lawsuit would be against Danielle, Joseph, Joseph's mother, and the New Hampshire Division for Children, Youth, and Families. Lawyers defending the case stated that the State Department didn't have custody of Elijah and therefore couldn't be liable for his welfare. However, when it looked likely they were going to lose the case, they settled outside of court with Mr. Lewis for a sum of $2.25 million. Part of the settlement made mention that Timothy had to sign an agreement agreeing that the state had not been negligent in their actions and had done nothing wrong. Another stipulation of the agreement would see 30% of the $2.25 million settlement go directly to him, and the remaining 70% of the money go into a secret trust account, which nobody to this day knows who the beneficiary is. There were conspiracy theories floating around that Danielle was one of the beneficiaries of that trust account. However, no proof of that has ever surfaced. Danielle Dauphinais would finally have her trial date set, but in a surprising move, she would agree to a plea deal that would spare her the ordeal of a trial. She pled guilty to the second-degree murder charge, along with secondary charges relating to the disposal of Elijah's body. The plea deal, however, didn't bargain her a reduced sentence, and she was instead at the mercy of the judge as to what punishment she would face, with the minimum being 35 years and the maximum being 55 years. Prosecutors and the defense would make their statements, but it was purely to pursue what length of sentence they would like to see the judge impose, not to argue innocence or guilt. It was no surprise that the state wanted the maximum sentence, while the defense argued for leniency and a minimum sentence. Danielle was able to give a statement of her own before the judge would hand down his sentence, seemingly barely able to string a sentence together.
The reason why I'm standing before you today, Your Honor, is due to my actions and choices that led to my 5-year-old son, Elijah's death. All the agony that my son encountered, neglect, mistreatment, isolation, and malnourishment was horrible. No child should ever have to go through any, and in particular that kind of abuse, especially my son that I have, especially my son that I worked so hard to find when his father took him away from me. I, of all people, should know because that's what happened to me in many similar ways. I also was neglected, mistreated, isolated, and malnourished by my parents and their partners, and I'm so lucky to be alive. I was also sexually abused by people who were supposed to protect me. Even so, Elijah never deserved any of the abuse. Parents are supposed to take care of their children. I don't deserve my abuse either. I was lucky that I had some time in foster care with wonderful people who gave me a glimpse of better role modeling. If I could have remained with them, I truly feel like my life could have gone in a better direction because I saw a life that I had never known. Sorry. Hold on, Your Honor. Let me go back. I truly feel like life could have gone in another direction before I saw a life that I had never known. Even with Elijah's behavioral issues, his death should never have happened, and I wish that I could have done better and take it all back. I didn't know how to make better decisions at the time. I did not know what to do. I was also deep in my addiction and not making great choices. Such as not contacting DCUM to get the help Elijah needed because I was afraid that my daughter and my unborn baby was... I can't do it.
Upon your plea of guilty to the crime of second-degree murder, knowingly, your sentence is follows. You are sentenced to the New Hampshire State Prison for not more than life nor less than 50 years. There is added to the minimum sentence a disciplinary period equal to 150 days for each year of the minimum term of your sentence to be prorated for any part of the year. You are entitled to pretrial confinement credit of 1,103 days.
Joseph Stapf's trial seemingly went under the radar, not getting anywhere near the amount of media attention that Danielle's had. He would also give a statement before his sentence was handed down.
I never wanted any of this to happen to Elijah. I wish I could go back and change everything. I wish I seek help. Elijah deserves to be loved. He deserves to be loved. He deserved the medical attention that he needed. He didn't deserve to go through that. I wish I could have done something to save him. I love that boy, I do. I'm so sorry to everybody that has to deal with this. It's so traumatizing. I'm so sorry, I truly am. I wish I could take it back. Thank you, Mr. Stapf. You can be seated.
Joseph Stapf would be sentenced to 22 to 45 years in prison for his part in the death of Elijah. A combination of drug addiction, a volatile home life, and a failure of the health system combined to create a devastating situation where a young 5-year-old boy was taken before his life had barely begun.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for tuning in. My name is Mike and I've been your narrator for today's video. If you want to check out some of our other videos here at Worst Cases, you can find them on screen right now. And if you like this video, consider subscribing. It's absolutely free. And if you want to support us further, channel memberships are available by hitting the join button right down below. And again, and as always, thanks so much for watching and we'll see you in our next video. Take care, everybody.